Hello and welcome to Nightline. I'm Brendan Wong. The top stories. Police set up task force to investigate sex video. Health Minister verifies Kuala Lumpur orang asli hit by measles outbreak. Good morning. Datuk Sri Azmin Ali said he would always adhere to the advice and guidance of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong following an audience with the letter on Monday. The Economic Affairs Minister, who said this in a Twitter posting, however, did not disclose any details discussed during the meeting at Istana Negara. In his tweet, Datuk Sri Azmin also expressed his gratitude to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah for granting him an audience. In his subsequent tweets on the audience, the PKR Deputy President spoke of Al-Sultan Abdullah's recent visit to the United Arab Emirates, UAE. He said the monarch's visit had provided the impetus to enhance bilateral relations and economic cooperation between the two nations. In the past week, clips of a sex video involving two men have gone viral, followed by a confession by Haziq Abdullah Abdulaziz that he was one of the two men in the videos. He also claimed that the other person was Datuk Sri Azmin. The minister has categorically denied the allegation, saying it was made to tarnish his reputation and destroy his political career. Meanwhile, a task force has been set up to investigate the viral sex video. Deputy Inspector General of Police Datuk Mazlan Mansur said the police have to speed up the probe since many quarters have urged them to conduct a comprehensive investigation. Datuk Mazlan said the team will be headed by Bukit Aman Criminal Investigation Department Director Datuk Huzir Muhammad.
Siasatan kita ni terdiri pada pegawai penyiasat kita daripada jenayah, daripada forensik, daripada SKMM dan agensi-agensi yang lain lah yang kita telah rope in this investigation.
Datuk Mazlan said this in a press conference after witnessing the handing over ceremony for the Bukit Aman CCID Director on Monday. Com Datuk Zakaria Ahmad takes over from Deputy Com Datuk Saiful Azli Kamarudin, who held the post in an acting capacity. Datuk Mazlan said that 17 reports have been lodged on the matter and 21 statements have been taken since last week. The police, however, are still waiting for the forensic report on the authenticity of the video. Datuk Mazlan also said that the police would record the minister's statement soon but declined to elaborate. In another development, Muhammad Hilman Idham, the political secretary to Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali, gave his statement to police on Monday on the allegations made by Haziq Abdullah Abdulaziz. Haziq had made a police report claiming he was threatened by Hilman when he met at a hotel in Putrajaya on June the 11th. Hilman arrived at the Sepang District Police Headquarters, IPD, at 11:05 a.m.
Sebab pagi ini tujuan mereka ialah mereka nak ambil rekod kenyataan saya terhadap laporan yang dibuat oleh Haziq yang mengatakan saya mengugut beliau, dan sebenarnya kenyataan itu telah pun diambil bersekali di IPD Sepang, memandangkan semua kes-kes sekarang ini dilaksanakan siasatan directly oleh Bukit Aman.
He added that his statement recorded in the Putrajaya IPD last Friday was enough. Hilman denied the threat allegations and said the meeting was done on his own personal capacity without the knowledge of Datuk Sri Azmin. He explained that in the meeting, Haziq had said he was a victim of dirty political games intended to bring down Datuk Sri Azmin. All members of Parliament are forbidden from bringing up the sex video issue when Parliament sits on July the 1st. Dewan Rakyat Speaker Datuk Muhammad Arif Muhammad Yusof said this will be in violation of parliamentary rules. Datuk Arif said bringing up the issue will prejudice the case as it is already being investigated by the authorities.
Peraturan Parlimen adalah agak jelas apabila sesuatu perkara itu sedang dalam siasatan, terutama apabila sedang dalam siasatan polis, tak boleh dibangkitkan dalam Parlimen. Ini menjejaskan proses siasatan. Ya. Kalau dibangkitkan, tapi ini pramatang lah untuk kita. memikirkan mungkin dibangkitkan dan sebagainya. Ya. Ini isu siasatan dan biarkan dia menjadi isu yang akan diputuskan melalui proses siasatan yang rapi.
He said this after officiating the opening ceremony of the ASEAN Inter-Parliamentary Assembly, IPA, 10th Caucus in Parliament on Monday. Datuk Muhammad Arif was replying to a statement made by Iskandar Putri DAP Member of Parliament Lim Kit Siang, who was worried the controversy will be the focus of the next Dewan Rakyat sitting. He added that he would use the standing order against any Member of Parliament who insists on bringing up the issue. Parliament will sit for 12 days until 18th July. The subject matter covered was not much different from the talk delivered at Oxford Union in January, yet Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad kept the floor engaged with his wit and humour during his talk at Cambridge Union. The rumbling of a small group of protesters outside was soon drowned by the Prime Minister's off-the-cuff speech inside the hall that took the audience from the British rule narrative to the present-day woes faced by the country and the world. The nonagenarian was steadfast on his stand on many issues, including on the Israel regime that had carved out its own state on the expense of Palestine, the atrocities suffered by Palestinians, as well as Malaysia's stand on LGBT.
In the case of the Jews, of course not all Jews are bad. I had a lot of Jewish friends here in Britain, but most of them support the wrong things being done by Israel. Gave them money, and of course if you say anything against the Jews, you are labeled as anti-Semitic. No other race in this world labels people like that. Why is it so difficult? Why is it forbidden for us to criticize the Jews when they and other people criticize us? So, well, we respect people who respect other people. The Israelis didn't respect other people. You take a country that belongs to somebody else and you create a state of Israel. You never compensate anything. You did not ask for a plebiscite or a referendum. You just took the land and gave it to Israel. That is wrong.
Tun Dr. Mahathir also once again highlighted how Malaysia shifted its focus from the west to the east and the fear of marginalization of the smaller countries by bigger nations. Also in attendance during the talk was his wife, Tun Dr. Siti Hasma Muhammad Ali, Foreign Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah, and Youth and Sports Minister Syed Saddiq Abdul Rahman. Among those who joined the crowd were Cambridge undergraduates, Malaysian undergraduates, and Malaysians living in the United Kingdom. On LGBT, Tun Dr. Mahathir stressed that Malaysia will not recognise same-sex marriage. Defending the traditional institution of marriage, the Prime Minister described same-sex marriage as a regressive way of thinking. Tun Dr. Mahathir said Malaysia will not allow same-sex marriages like in some countries, including the most recent in Taiwan. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad stressed that marriage is about having children. So he said, how could same-sex marriage produce offsprings?
Simply because you think people should be free, then they can do what they like, and they feel like marrying men and men, women and women, that's okay, that's their right. I think rights have got limits. So there is nothing as absolute right to do everything.
The Prime Minister had earlier stressed that practices such as lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender LGBT will never be accepted in the country. The mystery ailment afflicting dozens of Batik Orang Asli in Kuala Kok, Kelantan has turned out to be measles. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said the main factor causing the spread of measles among the Orang Asli is low coverage of MMR immunization. This after 3-year-old Nasri Rosli from the Batik Orang Asli tribe became the latest victim to die from the ailment, bringing the death toll to 15. The Health Ministry's laboratory results as of June 15 confirmed that 37 of the 112 Orang Asli patients have contracted measles, while results for other diseases like tuberculosis, leptospirosis and coronavirus were negative. According to Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli, only 61.5% of the Orang Asli community have received their first dose of MMR vaccine and 30% their second dose. The nomadic lifestyle of the Batik people made it difficult for the medical team to reach them and provide health services in a more wholesome manner. Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli said of the 112 Orang Asli cases, the Health Ministry recorded 3 deaths, while the latest victim being Nazri Rosli due to complications from measles.
Satu lagi kes kanak-kanak yang berumur 2 tahun, 2 tahun 6 bulan, dan beliau memanglah very informed dari sudut nutritional status tu, dan berat badannya pun was about 7 kilo for 2 years, 2.5 years. It's almost like about 13 ya. Jadi kita faham, dia very risikonya tinggi for that being malnourished sebagainya. So she died semalam meninggalnya.
Nazri was admitted to the hospital 8 days ago and was in critical condition. He was on respiratory support machine in an isolated ward in the intensive care unit. The toddler was the youngest of 5 siblings, with 2 of them having the same illness. The Transport Ministry has expressed hope that more transport service operators will take the initiative to introduce cashless payment systems in the future. Its Minister, Anthony Loxiufuk, said the move would improve the efficiency of public transport and at the same time increase the number of commuters. According to Lok, the initiative to go cashless is to raise capability in many areas as well as tackle corrupt practices, because by going cashless, every transaction will be recorded.
Dan harapan saya nak lihat supaya operator pengangkutan yang lain dapat juga menggunakan sistem cashless ini. Dan saya difahamkan prasarana memang pun ada perancangan untuk perkhidmatan-perkhidmatan kita seperti MRT, LRT dan sebagainya. Jadi itu untuk menjawab soalan itu memang kita ada cadangan.
The minister was speaking after launching the Go Cashless on Public Transport campaign organised by Express Rail Link Sendirian Berhad (ERL) at KL Central on Monday. The campaign also involves ERL strategic partners such as Boost eWallet, GrabPay, MasterCard, Maybank, Touch and Go, UnionPay and Visa. Lok said the system would be implemented in phases to ensure it could be carried out extensively. Malaysians should brace for tough times ahead as the economy is facing real problems amid an intractable external situation, which is deteriorating almost on a daily basis. Senior advisor at Khazanah Research Institute, Dr. K.S. Jomo, said many of these problems are beyond the control of the Malaysian government, and the people need to prepare themselves for hard times ahead.
This is going to be a very, very tough time. Because you have, as you correctly say, the external situation is very bad, and it's deteriorating almost on a daily basis. So this is beyond the control of the Malaysian government. Many of these problems are beyond the control of the Malaysian government. So we probably have to prepare ourselves for a situation where these tough times are going to be there for some time to come.
He was speaking to reporters at the Malaysian Economic Convention 2019 on Monday. The country should also start thinking about domestic investments instead of focusing its efforts on foreign investments as its economic savior. Asked whether the Malaysian economy needs new stimulus, he said the country has been stimulating the economy for the last 20 years since the Asian financial crisis with a lot of borrowings. 6 in Pulau Pinang dead after drinking cheap liquor. Details when we return. Welcome back. The High Court was told on Monday that SRC International Sendirian Berhad former director Datuk Subur Muhammad Yassin might have been in cohorts with the company's then Chief Executive Officer Nik Faisal Arif Kamil to hoodwink its board of directors. SRC BOD former chairman Tan Sri Ismi Ismail and the prosecution's 39th witness in Datuk Sri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak's trial agreed with counsel Havinderjit Singh's suggestion that the board was not informed about the deal between Gandingan Mentari Sendirian Berhad and Putra Perdana Construction Sendirian Berhad. According to the deal, Gandingan Mentari would fork out 140 million ringgit for Putra Perdana Construction to invest in South America. The lawyer noted that the deal involved a 70-30 profit split between Gandingan Mentari and Putra Perdana Construction. Gandingan Mentari is a subsidiary of SRC International, while Putra Perdana Construction is a subsidiary of Putra Perdana Berhad. To another question, the witness said Nik Faisal did not brief SRC's BOD over the government's guarantee for the second 2 billion ringgit loan from KWAP. Tan Sri Ismi, 54, had been on the witness stand since last Tuesday. Datuk Sri Najib, 66, is charged with 3 counts of criminal breach of trust, 1 count of abusing his position and 3 counts of money laundering involving SRC International Sendirian Berhad funds amounting to 42 million ringgit. The hearing, which entered its 26th day, continues before Justice Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali. In Pulau Pinang, 6 men, including 2 locals, have died in the past 2 months after consuming cheap alcohol believed to be mixed with methanol. This led to the arrest of a Myanmar national who is believed to be involved in the distribution of the homemade brew in Georgetown. The suspect, who is believed to be part of a syndicate, did not have valid travel documents and was remanded for 14 days to facilitate police investigation into the case. District Police Chief ACP Cik Zimani Cik Awang said the 44-year-old suspect was found to have distributed the products at the Komta Multipurpose Complex following a raid on Saturday.
Kita percaya minuman buatan sendiri ini dimasuk ke dalam botol-botol berjenama untuk mengelirukan pembeli. Dan apa yang kita kesan juga, jenama-jenama tiruan ini dijual dengan harga yang begitu murah. Dan saya menyeru dan menasihati orang awam supaya tidak membeli dan meminum minuman keras yang dijual secara murah dan tanpa lesen yang sah.
A total of 2,271 bottled and canned bootleg alcohol was seized in the joint operation with the Customs Department. Police are still hunting other members of the syndicate whose operating base remains under the radar. Another 7 Myanmar men in the meantime are receiving treatment at the Penang hospital after falling sick from consuming the alcohol. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for culpable homicide. In Selangor, a trader was charged in the Petaling Jaya Sessions Court on Monday for abusing 2 of his foster children, aged 7 and 8, in a house in Sri Kembangan last month. Muhammad Raja Abdullah, aged 48, pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to him in front of Judge Hilmiah Yusof. The charges were framed under Section 31, Subsection 1A of the Child Act 2001, which carries a maximum fine of 50,000 ringgit or up to 20 years in jail or both. Judge Hilmiah allowed the accused to be bailed at 13,000 ringgit with 1 guarantor and set July 18 for remention of the case. In Johor, the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, MMEA, detained 2 Indonesian men suspected of stealing scrap metal from a vessel in Teluk Ramunia waters on Sunday. According to its Deputy Maritime Operations Director, Maritime Captain Sanifa Yusof, the suspect were caught red-handed at about 2.9 nautical miles south of Teluk Ramunia at 3 a.m. The 2 men managed to escape but were rearrested by the Indonesian Maritime Security Agency at about 5 p.m. local time on Sunday. The 2 are being detained at Batam before being handed over to MMEA for prosecution. Scores killed in Nigeria, triple suicide bombings. Details when we return. On to the foreign front. In Nigeria, the death toll from triple suicide bombings in the northeastern town of Konduga has risen to at least 30 people Monday, with more than 40 others injured. So far, no group has yet claimed responsibility for the attack. According to local authorities, the attack happened around 9 p.m. local time outside of a hall in the town, some 38 kilometers from the Borno state capital, where football fans had gathered to watch a televised football match. It is understood that one of the bombers blew himself up when the owner of the hall had prevented him from entering the venue, before two other bombers at the tea stall nearby followed suit to detonate their explosive vests. 9 people died on the spot, while others died while receiving treatment at a hospital. Authorities blame the Boko Haram militants for the blasts, though the group has not claimed responsibility for it. '19 Copa America. Uruguay off to a winning start. Stay tuned. Sports football, the 2019 Copa America. Uruguay made a bright start into their campaign as they trashed Ecuador 4-0 in their Group C opener on Monday. Nicolas Lodero opened the scoring after just 6 minutes, before Ecuador were down to 10 men after Jose Quintero was sent off on the 24th minute. Paris Saint-Germain striker Edinson Cavani scored an acrobatic bicycle kick in the 33rd minute, before Barcelona forward Luis Suarez tapped home a record 57th international goal to make it 3-0 before halftime. Uruguay then wrapped up their 4-0 win thanks to an own goal by Arturo Mina in the 78th minute. Suarez and co will next face Japan in Porto Alegre on Thursday. And that sports item wraps up Nightline this time around. The celebrated tightrope walker Philippe Petit, who in 1974 walked on a cable suspended between the Twin Towers in New York, performs the Glass House for the 70th anniversary of the Arts Center. Take a look as we wrap up. With that, I'm Brandon Wong, and thank you for tuning in.